Hello and welcome. This is the quarterfinal between KKR and BBZ. The Kalinga Krakens take on the Bangalore Buzzers today. An exciting night of racing coming up right in front of you. We are streaming today live across both YouTube and our new platform, uh, Twitch. So, spectators, if you want to check out Twitch, go to twitch.tv/IDRL Racing and do let us know if we are doing okay out there. Meanwhile, YouTube, let's see if we are on one more time just to give it a clarification. Yes, we are on, and spectators will be joining soon as well. So in the meantime, let's start off with going through some of the rules, the basic rules that we always have for each of our races. Today's lineup, Dabata is going to take on Mr. Hegde. DC is going to take on Kushang, and Oni is going to take on Chesh. And all the six pilots are going to fly at the same time. 10 rounds are going to be there. 5 rounds are going to be played for the intermission. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break out there and then continue right till round number 10. So we are also going to have 5 points for round number 10 for the spot number 1 and 3 points for spot number 2. So 8 points on the grab for round number 10. In each of the other rounds, we have 3 points for the grabs, and it'll be a close game, looks like, that's coming up because each of these teams and the players have practiced really hard. And what you're seeing right now is each of these players doing their demo runs on this fantastic new track. So let's go over through the track and show you some of the visuals that are coming in from the track right now. We are pointed straight at Dabata's feed. Let's see how is he doing from the first person perspective out there. The captain of KKR is showing us around out here in the football zone, and we are seeing some of those split S's and double gates right now being done by Dabata. It is a fairly curvy, turny track that these players have to do. So that's the start gate, and Dabata just now trying to make sure that he is all up geared with the rest of his players from the team. We have in the green the team from Bangalore, BBZ, and from the KKR team, it's in red. So let's have a final look now at the players who are ready for the zone to come in. Looks like everybody is ready to go. So pilots, without any further ado, please be ready on the podium. We're going to start the first round in less than 5. So your attention is requested. So let's go now, pilots. Your first round starts right here. Let's take a wide angle view of the drones picking up out here. First to go on the lead straight away is Oni. Let's tune up straight into Oni's feed out here, showing us around that football track into the dive gate. A very precision player this is, and a pilot of a very high caliber going around into that intersection gate now. That intersection has to be done fairly quickly now through the tunnel, curving around some of the other flags out there and going back into, I believe, the start gate. He will also be recharging with some of the other players. IMDC is in a good zone along with him, right behind him, but it's still about 5 gates away for IMDC. Let's take another perspective out there. We have multiple cameras lined up for you. Dabata has split himself at position number 3. So it's a clear split right now. Let's see if Mr. Hegde can take over Dabata, and Kushang and Chesh also falling a little behind. Nevertheless, this is the first round, so the pilots are just warming up themselves, but it still counts in as the first round. So these pilots will be looking to come back sooner or later in the later stage of this first round going on. Meanwhile, Oni, who is picking up good speed right now, he is the frontliner out here. Oni is at the start gate, finishing up fair and square in multitude lead of IMDC and Dabata, his closest teammates as well. And IMDC, there you can see, he will also be coming in along with Dabata, who is also coming in along that curve around the flag into the start gate. Dave Haigday is the first player who will be completing from the Bangalore Buzzers, looks like. And Kushang is another fine player who has been really motivating his team along with Chesh, who has been doing all the captaincy out there. So Chesh must have planned quite a bit of strategic play out here for the Bangalore Buzzers. There you can see also in the triangle, in the blue, is a sort of a recharge gate. So when the players go through that, their quads are in a full recovery state, 100%. We are waiting finally for Kushang and Chesh. So let's score it up right now for the players. And let's see how the competition is shaping up right now in the first round. Oni, let's see where Dabata is. So let's take Dabata versus Haigday. Dabata has won. And obviously, I think it's a clean sweep for KKR. That is definitely out there because all of them in the top three spots. So it's 3-0 leading for KKR. Meanwhile, let's take a quick look at how our Twitch feed is coming in and if there are any issues out there. Meanwhile, YouTube is going strong and video download. Yeah, let's see. So do keep us posted on the Twitch, and meanwhile, YouTube is on. So pilots, let's go now for the feed of round number 2, and your round number 2 starts now in less than 5. Excellent tuning out there straight off the bat. We get this time it's Mr. Haigday. Mr. Haigday is coming up strong. This time he's saying that it's round number 2. He's going to take a fine capture. He's going to take on the strengths of IMDC Dabata, but they seem to really block his way out here all the way. Oni once again. Let's see, trying to capture him from as much perspective as possible. That's Oni for you. And Oni is really flying off the sleeves out here. This is a very quick track. Oni is at lap number 2, gate number 8 right now. Behind him is IMDC, very, very close to him. And Dabata is also a couple of gates away. So again, KKR is in a dominating position right now. Chesh and his team will have to really come back in full force with round number 2. Dave Haigday trying to, meanwhile, break into some of these fixed positions out there. He's toppled over Dabata. That's a good news. He's getting closer and closer to IMDC. But he still needs to push the bandwagon quite a bit out here if he has to get a hold of DC, because DC is about 5 gates away now. Haigday is getting close. That's really, but Haigday probably made kind of a crash out there, but DC is not taking advantage of that crash. It looks like a slower proportion of speed out there shown by DC, but Haigday again crashing out there, giving full chance for, again, DC was stuck out there, but Haigday could have made those chances count. But DC really is in a safe zone right now, and he will be again getting back to his finish gate. So that's Haigday also completing, and Dabata this time is in position number 4. So I believe between Dabata and Haigday, we must be seeing some competition, and I believe it was Dabata versus Haigday that was lined up, if I'm not correct. So I think Haigday has picked up that 1 point, that crucial 1 point for the Bangalore Buzzers, and that is extremely important for the BBZ team. So also on your scorecard display, you can see right at the bottom left, you can see in real time how the scores are updated. We take scoring for this round number 2. Mr. Haigday at position number 3, defeats Dabata, picks up that 1 point for the Bangalore Buzzers, while Kushang and Chesh still left without any opening scoring for themselves. So let's score it up for these folks out here. It's 1 point for DC and Oni. Hegde gets that 1 point as well. And in the first round, we just complete this scoring for the sake of the spectators. And we get 5-1 right now in the favor of KKR. So pilots, round number 3 coming up right in front of you, starting in less than 5. This time we'll straight away go with the FPV view of Kushank without going into a third person perspective. You can see the wonderful flying colors that Kushang is showing us, but all those quads right in front of him. Hegde, let's tune into Hegde and see if he's taking on the strength of Oni. Oni is really ahead of him. You can see Hegde trying his very best to pick out Oni out there and put on all the tail pressure that he can. But Hegde is just making those little bit of errors, trying to come into that intersection gate now, and he hit that Jacob's ladder one more time. So he'll be disappointed a little bit with his round number 3 performance on the lap number 1, but he has plenty of ground to make over still in the next 2 laps. So IMDC and Oni. These are the 2 players who are really showing us their skills in this football stadium out there. Which is a very unique track, twisty and curvy, as I said on earlier, and it requires a tremendous amount of skill. So definitely the pilots are doing their best to control their quads while maintaining the speed as much as is required to take on the teammates from the other side. Oni, I'm DC, Mr. Hegde, Dabata, Kushang, and Chesh. That's the ordering for now. We can see, let's see through the eyes of Hegde one more time. We probably can spot IMDC, but this time I think it's Kushang that we are seeing his own teammate from the first person perspective. He's diving in one more time, Mr. Hegde, and he's doing those double gates in the dragon loop right now, going around that Jacob's ladder. Look at that. You have to go behind that pole and then come back on the last top gate, coming back into the intersection. This is another split S out there and going around those poles. So he's really showing us what it really takes to skill up the track, so to speak. And Dabata right now is also just trying to get into his groove. He's quickly recharged out there, which was very important for his drone to get back in good shape. And he's really showing us the whole field right now. So well done, Dabata, as well. And Kushang would be the second last player to join in the completion group out here. And Kushang also is about a few minutes away. But in the meantime, we can start really scoring up the points for round number 3 and see again, Mr. Hegde is doing his work out there in complete force. He's taking on the strength of Dabata, and that is very important. Hegde again defeats Dabata while Awning and DC take on the other point. So it's an exact replica of round number 2. And so that is really increasing the point difference between KKR and BBZ. BBZ is just trying to crawl back 1 point at a time, but they'll have to do definitely better than that. All right, pilots, without any further ado, round number 4 right in front of you in less than 5. This time we'll take off with Oni because he is usually very, very quick off the podium. He's also showing us the night sky out there that's wonderfully lit with those fantastic starky stars out there in the sky. Very deep hue that they are showing, and it's really perfecting and showing the various colors that we are seeing. It's very well lighted up, very good colors, and the gates are also nicely lit up out here. So it's a good contrast, I would say. And Oni right now coming into the start gate. Dabata this time is fairly up to his capacity. That's what we usually like to see from Dabata. He usually tends to go slow on the first couple 3 rounds, but this time he definitely, as the captain in charge of KKR, is going along with the speed of Oni as he gets better. And Hegde will have to do a little bit much more this time around for the round number 4, because it is Dabata who has really toppled him over, but it's not really too far. Hegde is just behind Dabata right now, and Hegde will really have to stick to his bunch of skills out here without crashing or going through any kind of errors out here. And look at that. And Mr. Hegde really taking out Dabata out there at that crucial spot. And that will give a boost of confidence to Hegde, and Dabata once again making up for that lost space. But can Hegde come back? Yes, he's come back. Both of these players making some errors back and forth. That is giving up those chances. This time, Dabata coming up back again, fairly strong and square. And behind him, just behind him, is Hegde, exactly at the same gate these two players are. So it's really fantastic that we are seeing right now. What's happening on the zone out here. Also, let's see who is playing otherwise. This is Mr. Hegde, who has completed a spot number 3 right at the very end. It was crucial for him to get that spot. Look at that. An error at the last stage gave Hegde the lead, and it's 2 seconds of difference between Hegde and Tabata. So that's the story again, an exact replica of round number 3, and we'll just score it up exactly according to that. And that's 0 1 1, and then 1 0 and 0. So hope this does not continue too much, because Kushang and Chesh will have to sooner or later try to break through the mites of Oni and DC. So they have a fairly uphill task ahead of them. So the round before the intermission, let's get going, pilots, at the count of less than 5. This time, let's check out captain from the BBZ team, Chesh, and he's also looking really solid out here. Really has to ramp up on his speed a little bit. Kushang pushed to round and position number 6 right now. Mr. Hegde doing his fine work, catching on. He's really a little bit slow to take off the podium, but then makes up for that lost time and space in the next a few things. But right now, Mr. Higday, although he's at position number 2, he's really competing against Tabata. But getting to position number 1 and defeating Oni will be a big deal for Higday. He tends to, again, error on those few little crucial gates. That's some of his weaknesses out there. But as I said, if Higday is able to take on Oni out here, it'll be a fantastic run for him. Meanwhile, he's stacked up right back in with Dabata. We can see where Dabata is with respect to Hegde. Slightly different views coming in now as we rotate around the track with Dabata. Dabata making an error once again. IMDC is pushed at spot number 3. So ahead of him, you can see Mr. Hegde, but I think IMDC really made up for that lost time. And Mr. Hegde again buckled under the pressure coming from behind. But Mr. Hegde will be trying to look out for that lost time and space. IMDC once again at position number 2, a very strong player with the Oni. He is, and it's really exciting. Oni is always a fine player to look out for. He's really absolutely a no-nonsense player, as we say. And IMDC again at position number 2, with Hegde at position number 3, with spots 4, 5, and 6 being immaterial at this point. So once the top 3 spots are taken, we are good to go with the timings, and it is going to be exactly the same thing, the replica of the previous 3 rounds, I would say, except round number 1 was a clean sweep for KKR. This time it's DC 1, Oni 1 again, Hegde 1, and the rest of the 2 players 0. So it's 11:4 for KKR, and we take a little bit of intermission out here, 2 minutes of catch on time, and we will be catching you in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, let's switch to our new intermission screen that we have designed specially for an all new graphical experience for our spectators. So do chip in with your comments. Definitely thank you Tanvi Solanki, a close relative of Kushang, and wishing him all the best for his first match of the SAH. Just for a background information for our audiences who are new to the BBZ lineup, there is Kushang Solanki, who you saw in participate in the last season 5 episode 2 that we had with Tekriti, and Kushang really qualified from the beginners, and he was positioned at position number 11. So and he brought all that experience, and he joined the team BBZ right now, who is doing really well, I would say, in the force of Hegde, and accompanied by the captain Chesh. So it's Captain Chesh, and followed by Hegde as the vice cap, and Kushang Solanki coming in for the third pilot for BBZ. All right, so just, yeah, okay, okay. We'll just open up the server out here, and all right, let's see what's happening. Just give me a sec. All right, so we'll open up the server. Oh yeah, and there you can see now we are live on Twitch, guys. So Twitch is our new platform out here, and that we are broadcasting now, and it looks really good. So go to twitch.tv/IDRL Racing. Also on both these platforms, we are broadcasting in a 1080p resolution, so you can watch this in full HD broadcast. Excellent viewing experience that we are enhancing by every match. This is the quarterfinal, and the first half of the quarterfinal. Just to recap a little bit, right now it's in favor of KKR. It's 11 is to 4. Now pilots stay logged in because we are going to go now for the next half of the proceedings. So pilots, let's get ready on the podium, because your round number 6 now starts in less than 5. This time, the challenger from the other team. Let's see how Bangalore Buzzers will be planning to come in and take over some of the gappings that have been created in the first half of this rounds. Rounds 1 to 5 have really not gone in their favor, and this time definitely they'll be looking to not commit those many errors. But at the same time, you can see IMDC is looking very, very strong right now, and it'll be really good to see the competition between IMDC and Oni, the players from the same team. Look at that. They are like a fire blaze that's going by as Mr. Higde tries to break through them. Mr. Higde really coming in from behind out there, trying to break through that blast of Oni and DC. A fantastic run so far by Higde. He's taking on as the challenger. He's overtaken Mr. Higde has overtaken IMDC at this point. So Higde will be really happy with his performance. Now he really has to focus, because Higde tends to commit those errors once again. Let's see where he is again one more time with respect to the other players. And you can also see that we have Devil 007 who has just followed us. So this is a new graphic. So whenever somebody follows in, we show a little green kind of an alien dancing out there. It's really nice to see some of those graphics really look good on the screen. And this time, Oni coming in now, and Oni coming in straight into the finish gate lineup. IMDC, meanwhile, is also following his lead vice cap, Hegde completing at position number 3 as usual. Dabata takes his spot number 4. He must be happy not to edgy at this point because his boys are good to go at positions 1 and 2. They are fairly getting him that consistent flow of points, while Chesh will be looking to re-strategize at this point in time. So that is what we have so far for round number 6. Let's score it up. Tabata, again, the exact same thing that's going on since the last few rounds. We did not, we can even enter these points now blindfolded, I would say, because it's the exact same positioning. And just to give you an idea, KKR has 13 points, BBZ is 5. But remember, 8 points difference can be covered up in round number 10, because round number 10 is given as a round where anything can happen, because 5 points will go to the top player, 3 points will go to the second player. And if BBZ manages to capture those 2 ones, and if they really get one more point ahead in these next 3 rounds that are coming up, they might be in for a good treat out here. But definitely KKR will be holding them up. And without further ado, pilots, request your attention on the podium as we get ready to go in less than 5. Let's see some of the views coming in. We are chasing Tabata right now from the camera perspective. We see how he's rolling along with the other pilots. Lots of turning. The pilots get very, very close to each other during the initial lap round, and then they separate as they grow farther to each other as the lap and the round progresses. So this time we can see IMDC, Oni, and Dabata lined up. IMDC this time will be looking to impress his captain. IMDC, again, he has been one of the core challengers. We saw him perform so beautifully at Tech Kriti as well. If I remember, he was positioned at number 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it was him or Ion, not sure who it was, but one of those two were at positions 3 and 4. So both these lineups are very strong. Hegde is managing to keep Bangalore buzzers somewhat in the competition right now, but Hegde really falling back by the 5 gates point difference right now, unless he really buzzes it on. Right now, he was supposed to take on Tabata, but he himself committed a few mistakes out there. Tabata really running up the lap with that mistake of Mr. Hegde. Kushang Solanki and Chesh in the meantime at position 5 and 6. Oni and IMDC sitting up right there. In fact, KKR has a clear lead out here and is well segregated from the team BBZ. You can see Dabata flowing in and out of there at the intersection gates. Beautiful flying out there that we are witnessing right now. A very, very close competition between him and Hegde that we had witnessed over the last few rounds. But this round, Dabata really, really left no stone unturned, and he really took it all over from Hegde. And that's how the scoring lines up right now. It's a clean sweep on behalf of KKR. So 3 points are picked up for KKR, and BBC go on without any scoring for this round. They'll have to come back for sure, make up for that point difference at rounds 8 and 9. And all right, pilots, without any further ado, let's go now at the count of less than 5 for the next round number 8. Let's see how Hegde is managing to pull on this time, though we are really fascinated with Dabata and Oni and some of those players. Oni really managing to plug it in. He is really finding this field like a piece of cake now. He's really acing that track. Look at that, those clean lines coming in from Oni. Beautiful to watch. Really fantastic to watch Oni at this point in time. Also, similarly, it goes for IMDC. He's doing a similar replica of his vice cap Oni, but with a few more errors than Oni. So let's see what's going on between Hegde and Dabata. Always those two players are in competition mode with each other. Hegde committing a bit more errors this time around in lap number 2. with respect to Tabata, though he's still at an arm's length with a couple of gates, and both of them at the same gate now. And Higday probably could come in if he can manage to leap over Tabata out here. But Tabata just holding him up at that right point. It's very, very interesting to watch what's going on out here. Exactly at the same gate. These two rivals are really positioned themselves up for a very fine game, and we'll be seeing them compete in a lot of further games coming up, because we have some real world events also coming up. So we'll be looking at these two pilots setting the stage on fire out there. And um, Higday again, it's gate number 9, 22. He's quite ahead of Dabata right now. So he should keep his momentum going and pick up that crucial 1 point for his captain. Chesh coming back into position number 5 and dropping back to position number 6. So it's Dabata right now completing at position number 4. The top 3 spots are gone and the 4th spot is done. So it's another replica of round 2 to 6. So let's score it up. So we have had only 2 variants of the positioning of the points that we have witnessed so far. It's either Mr. Hegde that has taken 1 point, or it has been a clean sweep on behalf from the side KKR. All right, pilots, round number 9. Without taking any further breather, let's take it up for round number 9 coming up in front of you in less than 5. Okay, hold on. All right, we'll stop the race here. Just 1 minute. Let's allow and open up the 2-minute timer. All right, the 2-minute timer has started for you. That is okay. Oni was kicked out for some reason. All right, great. Thank you so much, guys. Stay on the server, and let's go now for round number 9, starting in less than 5. Let's get some views out here coming in. That is Chesh for you that we are pointed up, but this time right ahead at the tail front, it's a Hegde Debata falling back to position number 3 at IMDC, and Hegde right now. It's a close, tough match out there between these two pilots, IMDC and Hegde, both of them doing beautifully out there. Look at that. We can see a side perspective of what's going on with Mr. Hegde as he revolves around the track. And he's also really close now to IMDC out here. IMDC just in front of you, front of Hegde. You can see how close Hegde is to IMDC right now. IMDC the leader, and Hegde should be able to get some advantage of that crash, that little bit of a crash that DC did, but instead Hegde ended up giving the lead to Oni. Oni pushed up to position number 2 at the moment. Dabata, as the captain, allowing his boys to take on position number 1 and 2. Doesn't matter for him as the points keep coming in. One more time for this round. But it is really important that Hegde sticks around over Dabata continuously, and Kushang also tries to push in a little bit, although it's a huge difference between him and his immediate competitor from the other team out there. IMDC showing us around the track. Let's take a first person perspective for IMDC, and let's revolve around with IMDC till the completion of this track. So is Oni out here, and Hegde will be sooner or later completing, following the steps of the other pilots from the last two teams. Coming in there, that is Hegde, not able to complete at the finish gate as he would have liked, but he's still ahead of Dabata. Dabata getting up behind at position number 4, lap number 3, gate number 34. That's Dabata, and that's set for Dabata as well. Okay, so what's the lineup here? We have IMDC, Oni, and Dabata. It's actually the same story. And this time it's Hague Day again. Picked up that 1 point against Dabata, while both these other 2 points are going for KKR. So the last and final round, let's see what happens. Right now, the scoring stands at 20 points is to 7. And this huge round number 10 coming up in front of you. 8 points to pick up for these players. So Pirates, let's get going for round number 10, the last and final round coming up right in front of you in less than 5. This should be interesting. The last round for you, each of these players will be looking to really get themselves in at position 1 or 2. This time, it doesn't matter who is playing who from each of these teams. What matters is only the player who is at position number 1 and only the player who is at position number 2 with points 5 and 3 distributed at 1 and 2 spots respectively. Right now, it looks like Oni and DC are going to take away those 2 points, but Mr. Hegde also is looking good. Mr. Hegde really needs to push up right now at this last round coming in. But MDC, Dabata, Oni also let's see where Oni is with respect to the other players, far ahead in the lead right now. Hegde is a good 11 gates away. So Dabata, IMDC, Oni, it's all KKR at the moment. Let's take through the first person perspective of Dabata. But I believe it's going to be all Oni. So let's stay focused on Oni at the moment, right? Till the end gate over here. He's going to take the front lead and probably pick up those 5 points for KKR as he completes in a very brisk fashion. The intersection gate is done, another split as the tunnel is done, and going around those poles, coming back out, and he was really trying to push himself a little too hard out there and finally made it. Oni is at position number 1, picks up those 5 points. DC will be doing the same for Team KKR as he picks up the 3 points. So that's all over. It's 5 points for KKR and 3 points, 5 points for Oni and 3 points for DC. Now, keep in mind these points really matter for each of these pilots because they go into their overall scoring for the season and finally into their debatas as well, which is our digital currency at IDRL. So more on that later on debatas and points, but right now it's all celebration and they must be happy at the Kalinga headquarters right now. They are Debata captain at taking his team all the way. KKR Oni really leading up there along with the help of DC and will be really happy with his boys Debata. So BBZ completing at 7 points with KKR taking 28 points of the allotted